Okay, let's talk the basic technique for taping the ball of the foot. I'm going to just zoom in here on our feet. But first we'll do our supply, a run through of our supplies. Kinesiology type tape, cover all tape, tincture of benzoin, an alcohol pad, and scissors. Let's dive in. All right, so first what you want to do is you want to prepare the skin to be able to handle the adhesive. So you want to use your alcohol pad and clean off the entire ball of the foot. Sorry, you're ticklish. The whole thing. Make sure all the skin is nice and clean. And you'll find that if your runner is sensitive, the harder you press, the less uncomfortable it is. All right, so once you have the alcohol cleaning off the basic dirt, then you want to use your tincture of benzoin. Now, what this does is it prepares the skin to be extremely tacky and allow the tape to stay on for another 60 miles or so, at least, or several days. It depends on what you're doing. So you put rub the tincture of benzoin on. This one's a little dry, and I'm okay with that for demonstration purposes and also compliance for my model who is now won't have a brown foot all day. So once you've cleaned the skin with alcohol, you've applied the tincture of benzoin, now you need to figure out how much of the kinesiology tape that you need to put across the ball of the foot. I'll just eyeball it by flipping it over, backside first, and you want to start it, I'll use this foot, you want to start it at the last bone on the outside of the foot, the fifth metatarsal, so anchor it there, and then run it across just gently with no tension to this the same spot on the other side of the foot, so on the top of the first bone of the first toe. So once you've done that, you've gotten an idea of how the length of tape you're going to need. Go ahead and cut that. What's nice is these little lines will kind of help you kind of know where you need to go. Cut the lines. And now you notice you have square edges here. Square edges in tape will find something to catch on and can cause the tape to kind of rise up and come off. So you just always want to round your edges. So just kind of cut those dog ears off. There you go. So when you have the piece of tape that with rounded edges, now you're ready to roll. So the less you touch the adhesive, the better. So you know where you're going to anchor. I always anchor at the pinky toe first, and you want to be as close to this seam or where the toes join the foot as possible so that you don't have anything rising up. So I'll place that tape on the outside, and then I always hold the pinky toe with the base of my hand, my thumb. And then if you hold your thumb here and really think about running that tape up along the ball of the foot. And you kind of have to manage the covering of the tape at the same time. You want to spread out the ball of the foot so the tape will go into all of the nooks and crannies and wrinkles that have happened usually by the time you're taping somebody. And this isn't a straight shot across. You want to rise up and up above, go right along the edge there, get to the end. You're going to add a little bit of tension, and then just lay it across the big toe. And what's really nice about this kinesiology type tape is it stretches. So if you can see here, I've got a little bit of wrinkles here, but it's really nice. Once you get it laid out on the foot, then you can take the foot, especially if you're mid-race and you've got a lot of wrinkles from maceration, then you spread the ball of the foot out and then rub it in so that the tape contours to all of the little spaces and every bit of the skin on the bottom of the ball of the foot, especially if there's any wrinkles. So you just use your thumbs here, and you can see I've got my we call it a hamburger grip. The fingers are on top, the thumbs are on the bottom, and then you just roll out all the wrinkles. And when you're doing that, you're also helping the tape to adhere, because you need about 30 seconds of skin contact to get the tape all adhered. So here's what we got here. We've got anchored at the top. And then, oh God, that's a terrible angle. Anyhow, the other top. Now, this is beautiful. I've done this a few times. So this is gorgeous. Now, your next thought should be, oh no, what's gonna happen if my runner's gonna be running? Look at this leading edge, could easily start coming up and rolling up. So we have a genius solution. John Von Hoff came up with this. You take the coverall tape, and you, don't judge me, you cut it into kind of a, well, this is technically what we call a butterfly, or like a, I don't know, a snowman with a really big waist, a really tiny waist. You just cut something that kind of looks a little bit like this. And the intent, and so then you take it, take the adhesive off. And this is here, well, this is where having an assistant can be very helpful, because they can help pull the toes apart. But you put one of these butterflies between the third and the fourth toe, and you just bring the center in, bring it down into the center like that, if you can see. Anchor the top first, because that's kind of inconsequential. The bottom, though, you want to make sure lays down nice and flat. So now that leading edge is secured down. And we'll do the same thing for between the first and the second toe. Let's see if I can get a good angle here. So you take the waist, put it in between the first and second toe, anchor it on top first, and then anchor it on the bottom next. So now you want to have a nice, seamless, smooth orientation of the tape. Now, you're not done yet. Here's what's very important. You've got these edges here, here, here. You want to make sure that you take your tincture of benzoin, run it along the edges so that all of the edges of the coverall tape, along here, to make sure that they adhere to the tape underneath. And that's going to be sticky. So then you're going to want to keep that tape from sticking to the socks and have the sock lifting up. You'll take some type of a powder. I always use a makeup brush, and then you just dust that powder on. If you don't have a makeup brush, you can maybe use your fingers. But you want to make sure that you dust off the benzoin that's on the tape before you put the sock on. So that is the basics of ball of the foot taping.